Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel Living in Canada. Today in this video I want to answer a question related to health insurance. This is in response to one of the questions that one of you asked me in the comments recently, and the question was more or less whether or not Canadian companies offer you health insurance if you work for them. So one thing that I want to set straight from the beginning is that it is important to differentiate whether you work for a company as a freelancer or as an employee, because that is going to be very different. If you work as a freelancer for a company, meaning that you only work a couple of hours or you work on a project basis, then in most cases the company will not provide you with health insurance. In that case, you will need to go and purchase your own health insurance. But there are exceptions, of course. It always depends on the contract. But in general, this is not the case. But if you work for a company as an employee, as a full-time employee, then in most cases, at least based on my experience, the company will provide you with health insurance as a benefit. And even if you work part-time, in many cases, health insurance will be one of the benefits that is offered as a perk to you. Okay, talking about benefits, it says in the name benefit that it is something that that functions to attract you to working for the company. So it is not a certainty, and it will be different based on the company that you are working from. So the only way to know whether you get health insurance or not and what the coverage is by asking the company that you are going to work for, or who is offering, who's making you a job offer directly. So if you are planning to come to Canada, or if you perhaps already have a job offer, these are some of the things. There are at least 3 things that you need to pay attention to, and that you might want to consider, and that you can even negotiate. So the first thing is regarding the start of the health insurance benefit. So although in many cases the Canadian company will provide you as the employee with health insurance benefits, the starting date might differ. So there are some companies who will start the health insurance effectively from the first day when you start working, but then there will be other companies which offer okay, some people are having a good time there riding their bikes. Anyway, so I was saying there are companies that will only have the health insurance kick in after month 2, after month 3, or after some kind of probation period. But this is something that can usually be negotiated. So the more strong your negotiation power is, the easier it will normally be to negotiate with the company, and you can actually ask them whether or not they can have the insurance kick in on day 1. And I think this is something very important to negotiate if you can, because if it doesn't kick in from day 1, it means that in the interim you have to find other health insurance. You have to have either your own private health insurance, or be covered under OHIP, or maybe a combination of that. By the way, if you don't know about OHIP yet, which is the health insurance plan here in Ontario, you can click on this video up here, which I made earlier, to find more about that. Okay, that was the first thing regarding the date when it kicks in. The second thing is regarding the amount of coverage. So in each health insurance plan, and you might know this as well, depending on the insurer, depending on the amount of insurance that the company purchases from the company, the coverage can differ. So for example, let's say that in the health insurance package, dental treatments, going to the dentist is covered, as well as vision, for example, paying for glasses or getting your eyes checked, right? And usually there is a cap. There's a cap, an amount set, a maximum amount set that is covered each year or every 2 years by the insurance. So let's just say, for example, that for vision or anything that has to do with your eyes, it's covered to the amount of, let's just say, $200 or $300. So that is something that you want to check and find out, especially if you foresee that you will need a lot of treatments, or you might need new glasses and so on. And the other thing to also check is the dental coverage. If you foresee that you will need to get a lot of dental treatment or so, then you might want to see and check out what that health insurance actually covers. The third thing that you need to pay attention to is and ask is whether or not the insurance plan also covers dependents. And in most cases, the insurance will. In most cases, the company will offer you health insurance that also covers your dependents or family. But as always, there are always exceptions. This is not always the case. So that is why it's really important that if you get an offer and when they ask you if you have any questions, this is something important to ask. Ask whether or not the insurance covers your family. So just to recap again, number one, ask when the insurance kicks in. Number two, what the exact coverage is. Sometimes the company or HR, they don't know exactly, and you might need to look into the brochure to know. And the third thing is whether or not the insurance also covers your dependents or your family. That way you have a good idea of what your overall coverage is, and you can make plans and see whether or not you need any kind of other additional private insurance. Okay, I hope that was useful to you guys who are planning to come to Canada and to work here. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this. I'll try my best to answer, because once again, I am not an immigration consultant, not a financial advisor. I just share the information based on my own knowledge and my experience here. And if that can help you, I'm glad to continue sharing that. Also, let me know if you have any other questions about moving to Canada, living in Canada, studying, working, traveling here. I'll try my best to answer that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time.